I was inspired to do a college tag slash HBCU tag just because in a few days I'll be going to my school, Florida A&M University, for homecoming, and this will be my first time going back to homecoming since I graduated in 2012. And I'm so excited to see all of my old friends, just to see how much the campus has changed and everything, because it was by far the best experience of my life. And I would encourage everybody to go to college, preferably in HBCU, you know, but to each his own. So I have a couple of things. So I chose FAMU because out of all the schools that I visited while I was in high school, it just stood out to me the most. And while I was in high school, I had a couple of different mentors, and a lot of my mentors were graduate of FAMU, more specifically the SBI program, which is their business program, and all of them are super successful. So I really looked up to that, so I wanted to follow in their footsteps, and there it goes. So I chose to go to FAMU, and I was a business major in the School of Business and Industry. So I was actually a business major. Just growing up, I always knew I wanted to be a business major. When I was in high school, I participated in activities such as Future Business Leaders of America. My mom owned her own business, so just growing up and watching her and her entrepreneur ventures, you know, I really looked up to that. So it was kind of a no-brainer when it came to figuring out what major I wanted to study. And business is, I always say, if you're not sure what you want to major in, start with business, because there's a business aspect to every industry. So I don't think you can, personally, I don't think you can go wrong with it. Throughout college, of course, I had a roommate every single time. And freshman year, my roommate, you know, we got along. We were pretty cool. You know, we didn't become like best friends or anything, but we were pretty good. We didn't have too many issues or anything. Now, sophomore year and junior year, senior year, all the other years, actually, no. Sophomore year, I had the best roommates ever. We were all friends with each other. We went out together. We had different functions in our apartment. It was awesome. But then junior and senior year, they were just, I don't know. I always ended up with people that I couldn't get along with for some reason. But they were nice girls. Like, their personalities were cool. But for some reason, I don't know, I always clash with them. Never to the point of like a fist fight, because, you know, I don't have time to be fighting nobody. But it was always pretty bad. So I really wish I had the funds to get, you know, an apartment by myself during that time. But definitely having those different roommate issues really kind of helped me with dealing with people that I don't necessarily get along with, because in life you're gonna have jobs and you're gonna be in many situations where you have to work or be in the same space as people that you don't particularly like, and you kind of have to learn to work through whatever. For my best college memory, I don't really have one. I just remember the whole experience just being amazing. Like, my best friends today, for the most part, are all people that I met while I was at school. And coming from DC and going all the way to Florida, you know, I really felt like I wouldn't know anybody. I wouldn't get along with anybody. There wouldn't be anyone from DC that was there, but there's a huge amount of DC, Maryland, Virginia people that attended Florida A&M, and we had our own club. So that kind of helped me, you know, as far as being homesick. So another amazing aspect of HBCU life was definitely the Greek organizations and just student activities in general, because I always felt like all the different groups and clubs and sororities and fraternities, I always felt like everybody has such a great spirit. We were always live. Like, we had an area called The Set where every Friday we'll have a DJ and different vendors will come out, and then everybody just be out there, you know, just hanging out, dancing, strolling, stepping, you know, just doing their thing. And all of the organizations just always they were always so lively, and it was always just so much fun. But I did pledge a sorority. So now, how did I pay for school? Honestly, the answer to that question is by the grace of God and lots of prayer and being positive and just hustling, because paying for school is not an easy thing. Because going to school, my mother didn't really have too much money to go towards my education. So in high school, I applied to a lot of scholarships, and thankfully I received a pretty good amount of money going into school. And because I'm from DC, I also received the DC Tag and DC Leap grants, so that helped me tremendously. And while I was in school, I applied, you know, also to a lot of scholarships, and I aimed for some of the smaller ones, like the $500 one or $250, because all of those little scholarships, they really add up in the end. And a lot of sororities and fraternities also offer scholarships. So if you know anybody that's in a sorority in your area, definitely reach out to them. And, like, you know, even if you don't want to join that particular sorority or fraternity, you can still, you know, look them up to see if they have scholarships, and whether you pledge with them or not, you know, they can't discriminate against you and take your scholarship back or anything like that. So definitely look into that as far as paying for school. And I did end up having to take out a loan, but thankfully it was a very small loan that, you know, I could bear with. And what else? I also did, you know, on campus, I did pretty much a lot of people's hair. And that really helped me make ends meet, and it helped me pay for, you know, some of the social activities that I wanted to do. So definitely you have to hustle and just make it work. If you want to do something, just figure out ways to. That's all for my HBCU college tag. If you have questions, comments, put them down below. All right. Deuces.